Welcome back to vloggoween day 17, and here is yet another video that sadly the sound did not work on. Like I said in day 16's video, I don't know why it didn't work, I don't know what went wrong, it just did. Now in this video, me and Alyssa are going to be doing, Alyssa and I should say, that was very poor wording of me. Alyssa and I shall be doing some kind of cooking, kind of baking. It's kind of just fun makes, really. She's going to be doing Rice Krispie treats, and I'm going to attempt a... My brain's going, a chicken and bacon pie. No, it's not doing a chicken and bacon pie. I was making a lemon cheesecake. Yeah, can you see where my brain got chicken pie from? No, I can't either. But hey, that's my brain for me. So Alyssa got all her ingredients out to make absolutely everything she wanted to make for the Halloween party, and then realised, actually, you can't make half of this stuff like in advance or this far in advance. We're going to have to make a lot of it on the day of the party because it's going to spoil if it's left out. So she ended up putting half the ingredients back in the bag, waiting for the day of the party. Plus, as well, that countertop there is about all of the kitchens. Well, actually, it's all of the kitchen space we've got. That's it. And most of that counter space is now taken up with a microwave and the plates. You put 2 or 3 things down and you've had it. There's no more room. She's also realised that she's got no recipe up to make these Rice Krispie treats. A quick search online tells her exactly what she's going to need. We do have measuring cups. Again, I wish you'd been able to hear half of what's being said here because it's funny. I am going to do my best to narrate what's being said, but my memory's not that great. Okay, so step 1, I think she said was a cup of butter. Now, that blue one is not a cup. The orange one on this thing is a cup of butter, which might explain why we didn't have enough mix to go that far. But it could have been half a cup of butter, which would have been that blue thing, I think. So it might have been right measuring. I can't remember. I'm doing my best here from memory, and it's not great. So we've got some butter, and now she's wondering whether we have to warm it up first, I think. I'm not sure. I know what she is wondering is how she's going to get a cup of butter from this block of butter into that little blue cup. And the way we come up with is quite a creative way. I must admit, you will laugh at that. You'll laugh at the pair of us. She's just got a clean pan out the cupboard and is now busy asking me whether she needs to wash it up first or not. Child doesn't really do washing up, but now she wants to wash up a clean saucepan. Don't quite know what that was all about, but, points for trying. It did cause some confusion. Okay, now we need to work out how to get into the butter pat. There we go. We're in, almost. Keep unwrapping, keep untucking, keep unwrapping. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Helping by supervising, I think, just sort of lending moral support. I genuinely, I don't know. Am I saying stuff to her? Am I trying to make her laugh? I really have no clue. But this is where it gets funny. So keep paying attention because we need to measure out half a cup of butter. We need to get the butter into that blue scoopy thing. And what are we going to do? We are going to just... I don't know why I did that. Oh, yeah, she was asking me if I'd wash my hands. I was like, well, smell my hands. You can tell they're clean. She was like, oh, that's gross. Okay, so here we go. We take the blue cup and we're just going to press it down into the block of butter. Now, it won't go all the way through because obviously the butter is as hard as a brick because it's been in the fridge. It's not working and now we can't get the blue cup out of the butter. So I'm going to hit it a few times with a saucepan, bonk, 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 in the hopes of pushing it all the way through the block of butter and getting just a full cup, like a bit like a sandcastle effect. Really didn't work. We kind of got it stuck in the butter and just had a hilarious time trying to get it out. I don't remember. Oh, I know how she got it out. She gets a spoon and then sort of gently prizes the blue, whatever that thing is, the blue cup out of there. Didn't even manage to get a full cup in there. We only got half a cup. So now she's just sort of going to scoop bits out and sort of splodge it into the blue cup. Why we didn't do that in the first place, I don't know. In all honesty, there you go, not on honesty, in all honesty, I was considering grating out the butter and then putting it into the cup grated, it would have been so much easier. But then there would have been a lot of air and we probably wouldn't have got a full cup anyway. What would have been, oh, it's on the floor, never mind, I'll sort that out in a minute. What would have been a lot easier is if we knew what half a cup or a quarter of a cup, whatever that blue cup measure is in weight, because then we could have weighed it out and that would have been so much easier. These cups are great when you're doing powder or liquid or anything like that. It's not great for solid lumps of butter, is what we found out today. But do you know what? It's me and Alyssa cooking in the kitchen, and neither of us have a slight clue of what the heck is going on. Dale has literally just, abandoned us to the kitchen to let us get on with it. Don't know what that snotted look was for, but clearly I'd done something to annoy my child. There's a surprise. Hey, apparently I'm not even allowed in the front of her friend's car anymore. Apparently I act like a small child and need to be put in a car seat and or some form of soft restraint to stop me playing with things that I shouldn't be touching while people are driving their vehicle. I can't help it. The buttons look interesting and I would like to press them. It is not my fault. You are very precious over, your car. Although I think I scared poor Jaden, though. I know the airbags won't go off if you sort of bop the dashboard, right? Well, the passenger side dashboard. I wasn't bopping his dashboard. But if you bop the passenger side dashboard, I know the airbags won't deploy because the sensors for them are on the outside of the car and are like accelerometers or decelerometers. I can't remember which way round they go, but they sense the speed of the car and how fast it slows down impact-wise and deploys the airbags. At least that's how I understand them. So there's no sensors for them in the car that I'm aware of. So I was tapping on where the airbag was and apparently it made Jaden very nervous. So now I'm not allowed in the passenger seat of Jaden's car. I must be forced to go into the back. However, apparently I can prove that I can be just as annoying in the back of the car as well as in the front of the car. I am a small child. People forget this. I may be in a grown adult's body. I may chronologically be old enough to be an adult. Mentally, I don't think anyone's ever prepared to be an adult. We are all just grown-up children walking around in these adult suits, I do not think I am mentally prepared to be an adult. I still want to be a complete fool, a complete child, and I just want to do things all the time. Even here, right? Weighing out her marshmallows for her or measuring out her marshmallows and, oh dear, in go a few. Whoopsie. I can't control myself. I am just a juvenile adult. I can't help it. I don't know what is wrong with me. I think there's more going in there and I'm hoping she won't realise. But she did realise and she said I could eat some more. So now I'm happy as a sandboy. I've got a bag of mini marshmallows that I can stuff my face with. And believe you me, I did. I poured myself the rest of the bowl, went and sat down, after we did this, of course. When I sat down on the sofa with a bowl of mini marshmallows and just nibbled my way through the evening. And still woke up the next morning and had lost weight. Get in. We like it when that happens. Yes, I will take it. Eating sweets and still losing weight. Yes, please. Now, if I could just do that more often, if I could just eat my body weight in sugar and still lose weight and not get that pesky arrhythmia annoyance, then we'd be proper going with it, right? If I eat too much sugar, then my arrhythmia gets a right ump and it proper starts throwing a fit. Although some days it doesn't. Some days I can eat as much sugar as I please, not a problem. Other days, half a teaspoon and it's way too much and that's it. I'm like, ugh. It's never as little as half a teaspoon. Trust me, it's never as little as half a teaspoon. I am, what's it called? Being annoying? Yes, no, there is that. I'm being overdramatic. It's never half a teaspoon. It's way more than half a teaspoon. It's probably way more than most people are supposed to have in sugar, to be fair. I can pack away sugar with the best of them. I have a very high tolerance for sugar. But I've been practicing all my life. Again, with the distasteful look there, I don't know what I did this time. I don't appear to be laughing, so it clearly wasn't anything that menacing. Oh, that was it. Right. Dell was using one of our baking trays as like a plant stand to stop water running through the plant too fast, like a little plant pot holder. And we needed a tray, or Alyssa wanted a tray for her Rice Krispie squares. So Dell's like, use this one. Yeah, I wasn't willing to do it. That's what Alyssa was pulling the weird, disgusting face for. But Dell's like, it will be fine. So I sort of tried to wash it up. My face is pulling a disgusted face there too. Neither of us want to use this tray because it's been used as a flower pot. We don't cook that often, so there's no point keeping it as a baking tray. It's ironic, the only time it's being used as a flower pot holder is the only time we need it for a baking tray. It's sat in that oven drawer for I don't know how long. We don't use it, but we need it the minute we do. Anyway, we washed it up and we decided no, we weren't going to be doing that anymore. So we got the cookie sheet. Thankfully, Dell cooks on parchment paper all the time now, so the cookie sheets are clean. So I put some more parchment paper on and we was ready to go because the Rice Krispie treats were only going to go on the parchment paper bit of it. Now, I can see her stirring the marshmallows in the melted butter there, which means you've missed a funny bit, and so did I. I didn't see it. I got bored of waiting for the butter to melt, and Dale said about turning the heat up and then sort of gently remove the pan from the heat, pop it back, move it and pop it back, so it would melt faster. Well, I, in my impatience, got bored of waiting for Alyssa to turn it up, so I reached round her and, whacked the dial to turn it up. Unfortunately, that particular dial on the cooker is broken and it flies off. Well, it flew off, and I have absolutely no idea where it went. I had no idea what number I'd put the cooker on because the dial had flown across the room. And Alyssa was telling me off because I'm too impatient and a small child and I shouldn't be allowed in the kitchen with her. So I agree. And this is why I don't cook, because I get bored and then I do silly things like that and wreck things. Well, she managed to get it all under control pretty quickly and we're back on track now, nearly there with the marshmallows. It's around this point, I think, actually, Dell joined us in the kitchen. So now there he is, in our tiny little kitchen, there's the three of us. He's also realised we're allowed to eat the marshmallows, so has come in to grab a few. I wasn't very impressed, taking marshmallows away from me. Little naughty. He did give them back. He only had a few. There they are. And I proceeded to eat the rest of the bag, like I said, in the evening with my little bowl on the sofa. So that was fine. He's making a cup of coffee. Dell cannot go more than sort of 10 minutes without a cup of coffee. It is absolute bliss sometimes. There is always a cup of coffee or tea on the go. It is fantastic. You're never going to dehydrate in this household unless I'm here. If I'm here on my own with you, then there is a good chance you're going to dehydrate unless you remind me that human people need to drink fluid. I will happily go the entire day without drinking anything until someone reminds me, hello, people need to drink. And then I will have a drink. I will not go the whole day without eating. Very rarely will that happen. But yeah, without a drink, absolutely not a problem. I could go a whole day without a drink. But Dell, every 10 minutes, he's having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And he's always got a drink. So yeah, you're never going to dehydrate in this house unless it's just me. Even the poor builders, come to the house. And they will be spitting feathers. Dell will come home. You want a cup of tea, lads? Oh, yes, please. He's like, I take it she didn't offer you one. Oh, no, that's all right. And I'm like, you can be honest with him, mate. No, I didn't offer him one because it doesn't occur to me that people need tea. Right. This is about the point Alyssa starts panicking because she wants Rice Krispies weighed out. I don't realise she scrolled down to where the measurements are, so I start scrolling back again, and now she's shouting at me because I scrolled away from how many cups of Rice Krispies she needed. I didn't realise she'd scrolled me to the right point. I was just looking to be helpful. But she has now got a full-on panic because her marshmallows have melted and there's heat and there's melted butter and melted marshmallows. She doesn't want them to start setting, but we haven't weighed out the Rice Krispies yet. So I'm just going to go in and help her. Now, you're not going to see from here what's happening, but trust me, when it looks like it's snowing Rice Krispies behind me and Alyssa, or in front of me and Alyssa, there are Rice Krispies flying absolutely everywhere. I'm trying to get them in the saucepan. She's trying to stir it to keep the marshmallows from sticking and coat all the Rice Krispies. And literally, I think we're just sort of bashing into each other. The Rice Krispies are flying out everywhere because I'm pouring too fast. And then I'm tipping them in. There, look, you can see they're all over the cooker top. They are all over the floor as well. Every step we were taking, it was like walking on sand. It was a nightmare. But she started stirring, and then, bless her little sausages, she got tired so quick because apparently it was hard stirring. So I took over for her and got the rest of the stirring done. Got it all mixed together. Lovely. Now, I've always wanted to make Rice Krispie treats, but I've never known how to do it. I am a huge fan of Rice Krispie treats. They are one of my most favourite snacks. Then I don't think they're that bad for you either. I mean, as snacks go, I don't know how bad they are for you, but it seems a bit better to eating like a pound of chocolate, which I could probably do, or an entire chocolate gâteau or cheesecake to oneself. I've also done that. So having a portion of a Rice Krispie square kind of seems a little more sensible, don't you think? I don't even know who washed that saucepan up, because it weren't me. Must have been Del. It was Del. Oh, bless him. We make the mess and he comes and cleans up. Our roles really have changed. Normally it'd be me cleaning up after Alyssa made a mess. But now I go to work and he cleans up the mess most of the time. Well, actually, to be fair, quite a lot of the time. The kitchen is kind of his domain. He tends to clean it up quite regularly. I've got Rice Krispie treats all over my fingers now, so I'm off to nibble the treats off of my hands because I'm not wasting it. I'm not going to wash my hands and waste Rice Krispie treat. So I'm off for a nibble of that. These turned out really, really, really well. She should be quite proud of herself. For the first time making something that she's never made before, she did really, really well. And it was great fun. I'm just annoyed she didn't get to hear it all. Her telling me off, me moaning at her. Dale telling me off too. I don't think he told me off, to be fair. He probably should have done. I probably could have deserved it, but, he didn't. So the Rice Krispie treats are going to be decorated later. Jaden is coming over to help decorate some cookies and some Rice Krispie squares and all sorts of good things. But until then, we're going to pop the Rice Krispie... Oh, she's giving me the spoon to eat. It's great being a child when your mum cooks. She's going to pop the Rice Krispie treats in the kitchen and then we're going to get started on something else. All right, so we've had a quick tidy up. Not a good tidy up, but a quick tidy up. And we are looking for my packet mix cheesecake. Now, I've got to admit, this was bad. I don't know whether it was bad because I'm just a bad cook or whether packet mixes just ain't as great as they used to be. It was edible. I must admit it was edible. But a cheesecake should have a crumbly biscuit crumb, a smooth and creamy topping to it. And with the flavoured ones, you can get like a gelatin sort of topper to it, which should really set in the fridge. I didn't really let mine set in the fridge. But the biscuit base was solid. The creamy topping wasn't exactly creamy. It was edible. It was nice. I don't know, it wasn't cheesecakey for me. But anyway, that's the review of the product. Should we make it first before we do a review? I think that's probably how it's supposed to go down. Okay, so I didn't realise while I was out of the kitchen, Miss Alila decided to play silly with the camera. I don't quite know what she was up to. Screaming about being stuck in a kitchen with me, I think. I don't quite know. But she's still acting the fool, so I haven't come back yet. Maybe that's a zombie dance, a Halloween thriller. I don't quite know what she's on about, but, clearly she's stressed about something because I've come back and she's calmed down. So who knows with my child what that was all about. Anyway, let's get making this cheesecake mix. Now, cheesecake used to be one of my most favourite things to make. I haven't made it in years and years and years. It was one of the only things I could actually make. And apparently I've forgotten how to do it. So I need to start making some more cheesecake so I can get back in the practice of doing it. It was one of the only things I could, I say cook, it's a no-bake cheesecake. So technically I wasn't really cooking anything. I was just basically making a biscuit sandwich kind of thing, But it's one of those things I want to start making again so I can practice it. So, no, I've said that. It was one of those things I could make where I didn't need a recipe. You know those people that have cooked like Victoria sponges their entire life and somehow they just know how to make a Victoria sponge. They don't need a recipe book. They don't need you telling them how much sugar and this, that and the other to add. They just sort of know and they can feel how to make that cake. That's how I was with cheesecake. I just knew what went in where and how and what I could add and what I couldn't add and what would make a flipping delicious cheesecake and what would make an absolutely vile cheesecake. And now I can't. I'm hopeless with it. I can't. Perhaps it's just one of those things. Like I say, I've got to practice again and then I'll be good at it again. But I don't often eat cheesecake anymore. It's one of those nice little treats that I have every so often. So maybe I just keep it for special occasions, birthdays, Christmas or whatever. So why is this process taking so long? Well, because we're trying to weigh out exactly 50 grams, which is what the packet mix wants. And Alyssa was taking this tiny little chunk out at a time to stop it jumping too far down the scale. So we finally got to 50 grams. And now I need to point out we need a saucepan so we can melt the butter and then add the biscuit base. Now, in hindsight, we could have melted the butter in the microwave, which would have been a lot faster. But we decided for this option again. Maybe it wasn't with the marshmallow crispy squares that I got bored. It was while she was trying to melt my butter for my cheesecake and I got bored and decided I was just going to spin the little dial in front of her there and make the butter melt faster. And that's when everything went wrong. I see. It wasn't then. It was then. I get it. Oh, she's pulling faces at me again. Clearly I'm being daft. And I'm banging my head on a box. So clearly she's being daft too. We're both being daft together. All right, while she is melting the butter, I'm checking the rest of the ingredients we're going to need. And then I decided that I'm going to line one of our trays, what are they called? Baking tins, with parchment paper because it says to do that so it's easier to get out the tin when you're ready to serve it for your pudding. So I try and measure it out. That doesn't work. I just cut 2 strips and then cut out a circle base for the pan. And well, to say that was a pointless exercise is an understatement. A big, big understatement. This packet mix is way too small for this tin, and I don't know that at the time. It always says on there, put in a pan of 9 inches in diameter or 3 inches in diameter, whatever it is. I'm sorry, am I going to have to go out and buy a pan every time I want to make one of these packet mix cakes? Like, does every single one of them come for a different sized pan? Why can they not just have standard size pans? And how many of us genuinely have like about 300 different sizes of these pans? Not many of us, I bet. I've got one of these and I don't even know how big that is. So it's guesswork at this point. Complete and utter guesswork. This is why cakes, they're still raw in the middle when we get them out. This is why this didn't work, because it's all guesswork. Now that pan is grease proof though. For now, I'm about to get a bit silly with the knob on the cooker. I'm bored. I try and help. Oh, I can't turn the dial up. And the dial has gone now. It's like, stop interfering. Get off it. And I was like, no, Del said we could turn it. Hey, look, she's got her hand up. Will you leave it alone? Del said we should turn it up and then we can take the butter on and off the heat, and then sort it. I was trying to fix the damage I'd done with the dial, but she weren't having it. She knew what she was doing, and I wasn't allowed to touch the controls of the oven anymore. Leave it alone. I was just spinning the dial round and round and round. I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't turn it on. I didn't know what I was doing. She fixed it in the end. I just get bored though. That's my problem. I'm very easily bored and very easily distracted. Cooking is not one of those things I can realistically do unsupervised. I get bored. I will end up on my phone. I will wander away and decide to clean something and then come back and it will be burnt. I will turn the heat up too much or down too low and won't cook the thing through. Genuinely, cooking really isn't something I should be allowed to do on my own. But it's also one of those things I shouldn't be allowed to do with other people, because as you're seeing, when other people are there, it kind of brings out the inner child in me too. I kind of feel like I should be the entertainment, you know. I should be there to make them laugh and do things. Most of the time they're not laughing, they're stressing and trying to cope with me as well as the thing they're coping with. However, it has taught Alyssa well. So one day when she does have her own children, if she chooses to have her own children, she will be well versed in coping with annoying little children running around her feet. Mummy, 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 can I have, can I do, can I help? And getting into mischief when they shouldn't, because she's dealt with it all her life from her own mum. And I don't say that as a kind of pride thing. I kind of do and I kind of don't, you know. She's always had fun growing up in this house. I mean, obviously she's had a normal childhood too. She's had tellings off and things like that. But we've always been quite a fun, laughy, jokey, mischievous household. So I say that as like something she's grown up knowing. It's not been something that's been a pressure. You know, she hasn't been forced to be a parent before her years kind of thing. I know there's going to be a few people out there concerned that it's not fair she's had to put up with you being a child all her life and that's probably caused trauma and all that sort of thing. It's just the way we've been around each other. Laughy, jokey, annoyy, windy-uppy. It's just the sort of family we've been. She has grown up before her years, and I think some of that has been an unfortunate set of circumstances. It's just been the way the world has been for her. But we've always had fun. We've always had a laugh, and I think she's done so well in breaking generational trauma. I'm working really hard on it too, and hopefully leading the way for her to kind of get some guidance, because she's coming on leaps and bounds in breaking generational trauma. And I think one day when she has her own kids, the laughy, jokey, annoying family atmosphere that she's been raised in will see her in good stead for raising her own annoying, laughy, jokey little kids. And they'll be round Nanny and Grandad's house winding us up, and then back home winding their mother up, and she'll be still winding us up. It's just going to be the way we're going to be. So, with the cheesecake thing, this mix got very thick very quickly. And I told you, cheesecakes, I just feel I know how to make them. They're one of my passions. It's the oddest thing. It's the only thing in cooking I've ever just had this natural ability to just understand. I know what it needs without having to ask for direction or have a recipe. I just know. And Alyssa was like, I think we need to add some more milk. And instinctively, I knew how much to add, rather than be like, Dale, how much more milk do I need to add to this to stop it being so clumpy? And he's just like, well, pour a little bit until it's not clumpy. And I wouldn't know. Then I was just like, bloop, poured it in. As I said at the beginning of the video, that tin was not going to work out. And, well, I was right. So I've got 2 paper party plates, bowls. And I've divided the mixture up between the 2. Now, in hindsight, I shouldn't have compacted it down into the bottom of these bowls because it went like a solid lump. It was horrendous. If I'd left it a bit light and flaky, it might have been a bit more crumbly when it came to like actually eating the cheesecake. I don't quite know. I'm not really a fan of the packet mix. I like to make them myself, but I really wanted to. I saw lemon cheesecake, fell in love, and was like, I've got to make this myself. I love a lemon cheesecake. And it was all right, you know, it was edible, but I like a crumbly biscuit base. Always turn your whisk off at the plug before trying to move the whiskers at the end, because otherwise it spins round and that's not great. So word to the wise there, make sure you're remembering to do that. I did remember I got to lick the whisks though, so now I'm happy, I'm off, I'm back into small child land now. Alyssa is going to put the last of put the cream frosting on top of the cheesecake and pop them into the fridge. But I also realise at the end of this, I get to lick the bowl out because, yes, I am 5. I was over the moon. So while she was doing that, I was like, oh, there's still some left in the bowl. I started eating the remnants of what was in the bowl, and then Alyssa's like, I think this one needs some more. And I was like, more? It can't have more. There's no more left. Whoops. So, yeah, it had to go with what we had. And that is the baking over, my lovelies. Happy vloggoween day 17. I'll see you all on day 18. Bye for now.